What's up guys, Aroneous here with another Raid Shadow Legends video, and in today's video I'm going to be going over starting your prep. Okay, so let's get into it. What is start your prep? Basically at the end of a fusion, you want to make sure that you're focusing on different tournaments and events. And a lot of people take this time in between fusions to cool off, right? And I really think that it's great to cool off because we have so many different fusions going on every other week basically, right? It almost feels like we're doing it non-stop and we're just using all of our resources all the time. And we have about typically a week in between new fusions, sometimes 2 weeks, but it's typically a week in between fusions, and then boom, they start up another fusion right away. And start your prep is really focusing on different tournaments and things like that that will actually benefit your account. So for example, these ones here, these new tournaments that they're bringing into play where it says to fight in classic arena with specific champions, if you're a very low level, yeah, this is going to be a little bit challenging for you. I think this is nice that they're actually trying to bring in different ways of playing in classic arena and, playing in dungeons and things like that. It's nice, but a lot of people don't have this champion synergy that they need in order to utilize these specific champions. So a lot of times they're going to be losing a lot of these fights. I haven't actually even started working on this, to be honest with you. I've been just trying to grind and actually get wins, but I think that there is some benefit to some of these things, right? So if you want to get scavenge, an ancient shard, if you want to get an immortal soul stone or some energy, it is nice to grab these things, but also because this doesn't actually affect your energy resource, it might actually be beneficial for you to go into classic arena and take a look at your demon spawn, undead hordes, dark elves, and night revs and see if you can actually go after some of this stuff. This is actually good and beneficial for your account. Whereas champion chase, unless you're a whale, unless you're a low spender or mid spender, and you're actually trying to go for immortal soul stones and regular soul stones and whatever eternal soul stone, this giant one up here, which I doubt that I'll ever be able to get. I did pull some shards on this account already, but I think the reality is I didn't pull a shard. I just pulled the Morrigan fusion. That's why I have 500 points. Because it's champion chase, so you can get champions by any means necessary, and if I wanted to, I could pull 250 mystery shards and then get this bad boy. But then again, I will say we do have a 2x chance to get a void legendary, and this is the best time for free-to-play players to get a void legendary. And I think I'm going to go ahead and pull these 2 shards because I'll not only get 750 of those tokens, I'll also potentially get a legendary. I do have plenty of ancient shards and plenty of sacred shards saved up and stored here for the next fusion, so I think that's what I'll do right now. Let's see if I can get lucky here. I might as well. So we got a rare Bulwark, good champion for clan boss. I'm not really expecting anything here. I mean, I'm hoping that I could get something, but I doubt it. We did get Dilgal, so halfway decent champion as well for that faction. Attacks all enemies 2 times. 50% chance of placing a decreased accuracy, and if you ascend it, it's a big decreased accuracy, so it's not terrible. And then he also has a big decreased defense as well. So he's alright. I didn't expect anything from that. I also didn't even end up getting anything, which really stinks. I think I need to pull like, 10 more shards? Let's see. So we're at only 604 right now. Does that seem right? Maybe it just hasn't registered. I'm pretty sure that void shards are worth more than that. Oh, you have to pull an epic. That's why. So you have to pull an epic for 250 points. So that stinks. I'm thinking of the summon rush where you get 120 points per shard pulled. I didn't get lucky. I was hoping for an epic or something, but it is what it is. I'll just have to get some more shards another way and focus on continuing to grind and save up resources for the next fusion. So in starting your prep, kind of going back to tournaments and things like that. So you want to make sure you're focusing on classic arena. If you can work on this and get some resources, some rewards, go for it. Don't waste your shards on champion chase unless you're a whale. It's just not really worth it. I only pulled those 2 void shards because it's a 2x chance to get a legendary. Fire Knight tournament, I didn't really go for this. I didn't participate in this because I didn't want to waste my resources. I'm just fighting at the top as high as I can for that 2x chance to get Savage gear right now. And then champion training, you should always be trying to train up some champions. Again, don't go crazy with your resources unless you have enough resources to spend, and you should really be trying to get certain champions, get food prepped, right? You want to get those certain champions up to rank 4, rank 5, so that way you have it saved for the next time around. So like right now I have 4 rank 5 chickens because of Hard Doom Tower, because I was grinding that and I completed Hard Doom Tower for this rotation. And now I'm going to be focusing on getting all this food here. So I have tons of rank 3 level 30 food already. So I've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, that's 17, 20, 23, almost, so 21. So 21 champions at rank 3 level 30. And then also from my reserve vault, if I wanted to utilize any of these champions as food, if I wanted to take them out of Faction Guardian, you actually can do that, but then you'd have to go back and keep pulling more champions to restore your Faction Guardians. So if you want a champion ranked up faster, then you could consider going in here and utilizing these champions. So I do have a lot that are rank 4 level 40 that I could take up to rank 5 and then feed them into my legendaries, because honestly my legendaries are more important than my epics for the most part. So I do also have a couple of seekers, I have a couple of fanes, and so you gotta just keep that in mind. How are you gonna utilize your resources? If you wanna make more rank 6 champions, go for it, whereas I have so many rank 6 champions as it is. There are going to be certain champions that will benefit me, I will say. So like if I want to, maybe I'll go ahead and bring Ultimate Death Knight up. Maybe I'll bring up this guy right here, Bivald the Thorn. He's really good for Hydra. Deliana's pretty good for Hydra. And then of course Uko. So maybe I will go ahead and on the next fusion take out a couple of those reserve vault champions that are rank 4 level 40, bring them up to rank 5, and then use them as food to bring up another level 6, rank 5 to level 6. So definitely want to bring up Mighty Uko. So I would easily get rid of rank 4 level 40 champs for a rank 6 Mighty Uko. So that's very beneficial for me. So the name of the game is prepping your food, getting ready for the next fusion. Make sure you're not expending all of your resources, especially if you're not a pay-to-win player. The other thing is artifact enhancement. This is another one where, honestly, it's outside of a fusion, but if you want to go for some gems and core hammers, I do recommend going for at least the first 5 core hammers if you have plenty of silver saved up. And if you want to go for these other core hammers, that's nice too, because you can get the swift parry gear or the deflection gear. And Dungeon Divers event, you're going to end up getting points in Dungeon Divers if you're farming for Savage Gear right now, or if you're farming in Dragon or any other dungeon to begin with. So I do recommend trying to go for the core hammers at least. If you're a newer player and you're just grinding and you're not really participating in fusions, then it might be more important for you and beneficial for your account to try to get the rare skill tomes and maybe even push up a little bit further. If you're so new to the game and you just don't like to do fusions, or maybe you have been playing the game for a little while and you don't want to do fusions at all, then maybe completing all these different dungeon events and tournaments and things like that may be actually more beneficial to you, so you can go ahead and just keep pushing and get the epic books if needed, or get the ancient shards. But that's totally up to you. Personally, I like to do it more. I like to spend more of my resources in tournaments compared to events, because these tournaments you're actually facing people and you might be able to get better resources and gear. So like this, for example, like if you don't care about fusions, then maybe you want to go for this skin, you know, maybe you want to go for these books and these extra ancient shards and things like that, so on and so forth. So there's that. The other thing you want to make sure you're focusing on is just don't spend your shards for no reason. We do have a 2x of chance, so I would recommend pulling shards for a void 2x. Or if you like to save your shards, then save them for a guaranteed champion, like what we had going on just a few days ago. I don't think that's going on anymore. Yeah, it's not going on anymore, but you had a chance to get Nia from the Sylvan Watchers, where you had to spend 30 void shards to get her, and she's actually a really good champion. So it's up to you, but at this point in time, you really should just be prepping. Focus on your Doom Tower. Make sure you're focusing on spending your silver keys here. If you can only do normal floor 10, for example, spend your silver keys, get as much of the fragments that you possibly can so you can save it for forge, because your forge is also like a gold mine. It's going to be extra silver for you. So don't just forget to do that. Also, if you're on hard, you really should be focusing on the highest level you could possibly farm. So like for me, I'm going to be focusing on the last stage of the final boss for Irgoth so I can get that better gear. And that gear is going to convert to the forge. And then basically what I'm going to do is go here for Bloodthirst and just get as much Bloodthirst gear as possible. Personally, I like to farm the Guardian set a little bit more, but I do want to make a couple of sets of Bloodthirst because it is plus 12% crit rate and it heals by 30% of the damage dealt. So that's not bad. But Guardian set, I've been trying to stock up on the Guardian set because I want to put it on a tankier champion. Like Vogoth would be really good in a Guardian set because the wearer absorbs 10% of all damage dealt to allies and then heals by 10% every turn. So if you get your Vogoth built really tanky, like 80,000+ HP with this set, and then get him going at like 190 to 230 speed, and he just keeps on taking turns, then he'll heal back up to full pretty quickly. I think this would be fantastic against the Bommel boss as well, but you also need to try to get as much resistance too. Like at least 420 resistance is super beneficial against Bommel, because if you can bring somebody in with decreased accuracy by 50%, you only need 420 resistance on your team. So that's kind of cool, but those who have Duchess is just gonna go right through it anyways. But yeah, that's kind of it. Leave down below in the comments what you guys think. What else can you do to prep for the upcoming fusions? Leave it down in the comments below. If you liked the video, leave a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.